Welcome back. The National Peace Council has condemned recent violent clashes between supporters of the National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party at Kukwom and Wale Wale. A statement signed by the chairman of the council, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, tasked leaders of the various parties to hold their supporters in check to ensure that they do not engage in such provocative acts that could mar the peace in the country. The statement further condemned what it described as called, the council is urging all political parties, groups and individuals to be decorous and circumspect in view of their campaigning ahead of the elections. The Peace Council also asked the security agencies to act swiftly and professionally in dealing with any infractions of the law to ensure that parties, groups and individuals keep the peace and unity in Ghana. Right, we have the chairman of the Peace Council, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, joining us on the line. Good evening, sir. We're grateful you could join us. There are political flavorings, and this is not the first time we're witnessing this, especially seeing seeing a group of supporters carrying coffins and all of that. Can the political parties make do without these kinds of flavorings? Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, David.
Yeah.
Let me make it clear that the fact that these things have been going on, within certain parties and all that doesn't make it right. We're living at a time when everybody is praying to God and trying to do the best that they can to try as much as possible to ensure that the political tension in the country is softened. And that is not a time when we want to encourage provocative acts, because such acts could degenerate into something else. Assuming that the other party also reacts, and then, others also do the same thing. What kind of, electioneering campaign are we going to have in this country? So we want to humbly plead with all the political parties, especially the leadership, to take up leadership and to ensure that, their people are held in check. We know that at such times people become over-enthusiastic, over-exuberant, and they do all sorts of things. But it's not everything that is good. It's culturally unacceptable to try to
Professor Asante, there are concerns.
Cultural sensitivities must be taken into consideration.
Professor Asante, these are pretty popular things that are done by the two like that to portray the end of the NDC and all of that. So there are those who say this is happening mainly between the two main political parties. Do you think that this is something that can infest the other political parties?
Usually, these things happen between the two political parties, NDC and NPP. This equalization talk, that these people did it once and so this and that. What I'm saying is that if it's not good, it's not good, and we should be very, very circumspect in the way we go about politicking in this country, so that we do not plunge our country into a kind of violent situation. That's what the NPC is trying to communicate to all the political parties, to groups and to individuals, that Ghana must come first in whatever we do, and we should not, in our campaigning, marketing ourselves for people to buy us as leaders of this country. We should not do things underhand, engage in activities that could cause us, to plunge our country into confusion.
Professor Asante, why is it that for most part of the year, the message of peace and institutions like yours calling for decorum in political discourse actually do not take place all year, except during the elections year? There are those who say it's becoming typical for us all to wake up and realize that we have peace to protect during election years. Why can't we ensure peace all year round, all through the years, rather than election years?
But Stephen, you know that throughout the year, I mean, we do not seem to engage ourselves in things of this nature. It is only when elections are appearing, election years, that we begin to sit on tenterhooks. And that is why we must continue to drum it and to tell ourselves that, hey, let's be very careful in our over enthusiasm to market our parties. We don't do things that can lead us into a situation where we will blind the country.
Has it not taken quite too long since we started practicing multi-party democracy from 1992 for us to grow to accept that elections are just the norm in making transitions, that we always get agitated during election periods, indicating how immature our democracy is still several years on? Right, I think we lost Professor Emmanuel Asante there, but Professor Emmanuel Asante is the chairman of the Peace Council. We'll try and raise him back onto the telephone lines there, but this is still News at 10, live from our studios here in Accra. Professor Asante, if you're back on, thanks for, we lost you earlier. I was saying that when we look at the fact that since 1992 we have been practicing multi-party democracy, does it not bother you that our democracy appears not to have matured enough to see elections as just the norm in terms of transitions? Hello, sir.
There's too much noise in what he's saying, but I think I
apologize.
Why is it that we're not growing? Why is it that we're not maturing?
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, the years that we have already chalked in our democracy is not long enough. We are growing. We will grow, and we must continue to advise and admonish ourselves to ensure that we try as much as possible to show maturity in our politicking, because, I mean, we're going forward. And as we continue to go forward, we should also be mindful that we don't do those things that can easily spark off, trouble in our country.
Right. Professor Asante, we're grateful for your time. Thanks very much, Professor.